You should pronounce them all. Shane, tell me when I'm good. Am I good? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباءهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاء المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم فإن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينكدون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخلوا الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومهم من بعدهم من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا مهتدون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من تمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومما أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم والشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشاء نغرقهم فلا شريك لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا ونطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا سيئة واحدة هم واحدة خذوهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهله يرجعون ونفخ في السور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فعنا يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننقصه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي لها إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وظللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند مهتدون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي ينشأ أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. Surah Yasin recited for this following Salawat of Fazl Hussain Shah, Bibi Noor Jihan, Sayyid Bakir, Rashida Bagam, Nasir Hussain Shah, Abid Hussain Shah, Haji Hasnain Fazl Qasim, Askar Hassan Ali, Jahangir Poptana, Ghulam Hussain Taki, Muhammad Hirji, Hasina Hirji, Irfan Jafar, marhums of Wali family, marhums of Hirji family, marhums of Poptana family, marhums of Qasim family. Surah Al-Mubarak Al-Fatiha.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت بقي الليل والنهار ولا جعل الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي بالفضل العباس وأختك زينب جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا حجة الله يا ابن الحسن، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، عجل الله لك ما وعدك من النصر وظهور الأمر ورحمة الله وبركاته.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. حديث كساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري أنه قال عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال: سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت: دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال: السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت: عليك السلام. قال: إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له: ويذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال: يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به، وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلولأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. اللهم صل على محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال: يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم، إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي: يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت: نعم، إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال: السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال: يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له: وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم، وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري، إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل: يا رب يتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى، يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري، إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام: يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء. فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله هما ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
Can I request all Mu'mineen to please move forward as possible? There is a lot of space to your left, my right, so people who come after you get space as well. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ahsant. Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Let us recite Amin Yajibu 5 times for all those who are sick and who are in need. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Amma yujibu عما يجيب المضطر إذا عما يجيب عما يجيب عما يجيب المضطر سورة المباركة الفاتحة بسم الله.
Fatiha. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. All praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. May His peace and blessings be on our beloved Prophet and His immaculate Ahlul Bayt. Salawat. I want to thank the Allentown community for bringing me in as a guest. I love coming to new communities. My name is Brother Hussein. I'm from Dearborn, Michigan. My family's from Lebanon. And I started a project with some of you know as Hajj Hassan and Rajab Ali. We started a school together, co-founder of Wise Academy. We also have I'm a director of Camp Taha, and I've recognized some faces. And I welcome all of you as my guest, inshallah, for this year to come to camp. And my background is in cognitive behavioral science. I'm also into IT, and I do a lot of counseling. From 70, 80-year-old men who are on cancer to a 9-year-old who just cannot sit down. And I've been doing it for 12 years and met thousands of people, cried thousands of tears. And my notion is just getting people to think greater than the way we feel. And we're celebrating the birth of Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. In one of our khutbahs, and which was later repeated by Imam Ali alayhi salam 20 years later, she said, "O Muslims, you were downtrodden. You were low. You were lowly people. Your neighbors were looking at you like vultures. They were waiting to destroy you. You drank water from the side, from the gutters. You buried your daughters alive." Amongst the Prophet ﷺ, who is the best person amongst the worst people, who is an act of worship or act of just being disgraced by having a daughter, that you're going to bury her alive. So look how low you were. You married your stepmothers, you had no values, you built yourself idols of stone and wood, and you prostrated yourself before that. Meaning, some of the companions of the Prophet used to laugh when they became Muslims. They said, when nobody was looking, we would eat God, because we worshiped the idol of dates. And when nobody was looking, they would just take a date and eat it. And they would laugh, say, how idle we were. And we think now we're much different. Question is, are we? You built yourself idols of stone and wood, and you prostrated yourself before that. Allah saved you through my father. You were on the brink of the pit of fire, but He saved you. But then after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, for we know the narration, the way the Prophet used to treat his daughter. When your daughter walks in the room and you're sitting, do you stand out of respect for your daughter? Because the Prophet ﷺ would do that every time. And when the Prophet ﷺ was in Medina, the last person he would see before he traveled would be his daughter. And the first person he would see when he would come back would be his daughter. Do we take that responsibility? Most of us think our daughter should come to us. Well, that's not the sunnah. I'm also an Islamic teacher. I teach, we have a school pre-K to 12. We have another WISE facility in Orlando, and we have one in Houston. Alhamdulillah, Allah has honored us, and I don't feel of making you feeling bubbly. I could give you the whole history of Fatima Zahra Islam. But then when you leave out here, what do we leave with? And I'm not going to go into that direction. The direction I'm going to go into is, why did people not follow Fatima Zahra when she was so respected by the Prophet, that as soon as the Prophet, because when she came to the Prophet, she cried and then she smiled. And one of the wives have said, why did you cry? The Prophet ﷺ says, he's leaving soon. So I cried. And why did you smile? He said, I'm leaving right after him. I get to go be with him. So she smiled. Question is, why did she have to leave at such an early age? Fatima Zahra, I could give you so many. I also teach Quran class for adults. Once a week, we do other classes that we do. And these are all, Fatima Zahra is a representation for our soul. Not only for women, but for men too. The question that I have is, why did people not follow her? And do we have the same characteristics today, where if the same thing happened, would we also reject her? How would we know? So with that, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight and welcome everybody with the largest of salawats. So I'm going to give you an example of how the mind works. I just need one volunteer. I'm waiting. I'm challenging. We have one volunteer. Come on, my brother. Yes, come on. What's your name? Hussein, mashallah. My name is Hussein. So Hussein, here's $20. Do you know what you have to do for this $20? You just have to sit back down. Deal? Okay, so take a seat. Now let's analyze, all of us, with an open heart. Try not to be skeptical until the end of the lecture, then you could pound me with your questions. I'd love to hear them. Let's analyze what just happened. I asked for a volunteer. Nobody raised their hand. SubhanAllah. Why? First reason, you had a thought. Who's this crazy guy from Dearborn? He needs to go back to Dearborn. What if he asked me a question I don't know? I don't feel like it. Question, what if I would have given Hussein $10,000? What would everybody here say to themselves? You would have wished what? I would have wished I would have raised my hand. Question, the thoughts that you had when I told you to raise your hand, were they true? No. My biggest realization in life is when I realized not all my thoughts are true. Let's take it a step further. Let's say the brother next to you told you, don't raise your hand. This brother Hussein is close to Hajj Hassanin. They're both crazy. Don't listen to raise their hand. And you don't raise your hand. And then I give the brother $1,000. Then again I ask for a volunteer. And again the brother tells them again, don't raise your hand. Would you listen to him? No. You say you were wrong. I'm not listening to you again. I'm raising my hand. That's an opportunity. The question I have for you is, then why do you keep raising your hand? Why do you keep listening to your thoughts when they're wrong over and over and over again? And that's the notion. You know, we have 70,000 thoughts a day. You know, after the age of 35, 70 to 80% of them are negative. And 90% of them are the same thoughts as yesterday. Whoa. So that means if I'm having the same thoughts as yesterday, and I'm always sad and angry, then most likely my future is going to be what? How many of us woke up excited for today? The Prophet ﷺ woke up excited every day. Imam Ali was excited. Let's say I tell you right now we have the movie Matrix 4. What other movies? Avengers 6, Batman, new release. There's a new movie on Ahl Bayt. I'm going to show it here. Would you be excited? Say, yes, it's new. I said, okay, let's watch it. You watch it once. Then I say, don't move, we're going to watch it again. Would you be excited again? Maybe. How about 3 times? How about 4 times? You'd be bored. You know, most of us live our lives that way.
We don't wake up excited because there's nothing new. You know, they took 70, 80-year-old men in New York City. There's a brother from here from New York City. They took them to a camp. They were told they're old, so they had a cane, back. All they had them do is reminisce of the 50s and 60s for 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, they got rid of their canes. They were playing flag football. Just like that. SubhanAllah. 2 weeks. But then they put them back in the same environment. What happened? They went back to being old. Somebody told you to age this way. It wasn't the Prophet. It wasn't Ahl Bayt. Did you see the companions, how old some of them were on the battlefield? They were old. Some of them their eyebrows would be sagging. They would put a handkerchief so they could see and go and fight. But they fought like teenagers. How does that work? If I were to tell you, do you believe your thoughts have something to do with your future? Would you agree? Say yes. How many of us woke up in a state of dhikr and prayer today and actively thought about our day? Very few. Our personality determines our personal reality. If you don't like something that's going on in your life, how do I get people to overcome cancer without any medication? Become a new person. How? Stop looking at the reality, change your personality. How? Let's talk about that. Then I have some nice stories to share with you. What is your personality made up of? Your personality is made up of the way you think, act, and feel. If there's something somebody here doesn't like in their life, you don't like the way your daughter's treating you, you don't like the direction your son is going into, you're tired of your wife talking back to you. So what do in society? We keep waiting for the environment to change for us to change. Do you know what that's called? Insanity. Doing the same thing, waking up as the same person and expecting a different result. Einstein says that's insanity. So then, okay, I need to change my personality. It's the way you think, act, and feel. Thoughts are the language of the brain. Your mind is your brain in action. When you have a thought, it's the language of the brain. Feelings are the language of the body. And the way you think, act, and feel becomes your personality, and your personal reality becomes your personality becomes your personal reality. So if you don't like something about your life, you become that change. Stop waiting for everything else to change. The Prophet ﷺ would teach us how to breathe. He would teach us how to meditate. Teach us how to be present. Most of us wake up, what do? We check our WhatsApp. We go brush our teeth. We yell at our wife. We go to work. We come back home. And it's the same thing every day. So what does the Prophet ﷺ teach us? He says, before you do anything, tell this body to sit, this tabiyah. Sit. I'm going to get to you. The coffee is coming. But at this moment, for me, it's 4:30 in the morning. Close my eyes. Think of people to be grateful for. I think of people that I need to send prayers to. And I think of what is a reality that I want to do? What is one thought that I want to overcome? What's one person that I want to forgive today? And then it's called mental rehearsal. And you do that enough times, that becomes your reality. Because your body doesn't know the difference between a thought of something in your mind and an actual event. See, an end product of an experience is an emotion. And a high elevated emotion becomes a memory. So if I ask some of the brothers, where were you on 9/11? Brother, where were you on 9/11? At work. Do you remember exactly where you were? Cafeteria. Where were you 2 weeks before? You have no idea. You notice how fast, because your brain is a record of the past. It's an artifact. How fast he went back to 2001, almost 20 years ago, in an instant. Look how fast his brain works. So your conscience, your soul, your fitrah is above your brain. And wherever you put your attention goes, energy flows. So if I tell you to take your conscience and put it 9/11, put it at the last wedding, put it at the last time you were happy, last time you got angry, that's all different parts of your brain. Unfortunately, the body has become the mind and it's controlling you. So an elevated emotion we'll get back to. But think about how we wake up. Most of you here are over the age of 35. Do you know 95% to 99% of what you did today was not your mind, was your body? The way you tied your shoes today, was it your mind or your body? Your body, it was your subconscious. Nobody had to teach you how to do it. The first time you tied your shoes, that was your mind. The way you brushed your teeth, body. The way you talked back to somebody, body. The way you yelled at that person who cut you off, body. Now imagine you've started, after the age of 35, you have a lot of bad habits that now you have no control. So the question is, how do you take your free will back to overcome that? First thing is, we're emotional beings. It's good to have emotions. So now you have an emotion. Something happened to you. What happened? Well, my wife left me. Or my mother died. Or my kids are lost. Something happened. Let's say the mother died. How long ago? 2 years ago. And every day they wake up to grief because they're missing their mother. So then you ask them, if you could switch places with your mother, and you see your mom waking up to this grief every day, what would you tell your mom? Move on. Get over it. I went back to Allah. You come back. Give it time. What are you doing living in the past? But if you have a high emotional event, you betrayed somebody, you hurt somebody, or somebody betrayed you, and you can't let it go, then that emotion keeps going back in a loop and you're going to be recreating it in different forms. For instance, I don't do good in school, it's a teacher's fault. So there's no wisdom because the end product of experience is an emotion. If you can't let go of the emotion of why did that person cut me off? Why did my wife yell at me? Why did my kids make a mistake? I'm emotional. I was mad for 5 minutes. But why, as a father, did I fail for my kid to fall astray? What did I do? But if you keep the emotion of anger, then your kid is going to keep doing it because you're not going to turn into wisdom. So you let go of the emotion, you learn from it, you move on. Most of us don't do that. So the kid does bad in school, teacher's fault. College, teacher's fault. Gets married, wife's fault. 40 years old, he's divorced with 3 kids. What happened? It's the world's fault. But the Prophet said, no, it's you. Imam Ali alayhi salam says it's within you. And I have so many stories I could share of people who, as soon as they took their free will back, their life changed. I have a personal cousin. He is in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm fascinated by success. It's interesting how the same template anywhere I go is the same for success. And nobody was more successful than the Prophet. And it's the same. So, salawat. So, I have a cousin. He sells cars. I have one cousin, both of them sells cars. One is in the Guinness Book of World Records. Sold 8 cars a day, Shia Muslim in a Dearborn community. So I asked him, how'd you do it? He says, every day I woke up to abuse. My father would abuse me every day and abuse my mom every day. But one day I realized that I'm not going to be like him. So every time I look at my father, I'd say, this is how I'm not going to be. And he said, people would give me excuses to be a loser. I didn't take those excuses. I could have. And I could have let my past experience, my familiar past, become my predictable future. I chose not to. I speak to inner city kids. I say, I get it. You don't know your father. I get it. You went to sleep hungry. But you're going to let that define your future? I get it. Some of you, your life didn't turn out the way you thought. Question is, now what? Are you going to live the rest of your life that way because some emotional past event? Or are you going to wake up tomorrow excited? Because if we were watching a movie and it's new, you're going to be excited about it. So why not create a new movie here? Another friend, name's Muhammad. They call him Catfish in my community. So you know how I became successful? He says, my friend told me steal credit cards and I'll give you half. The next day he says, where are the credit card numbers? Your kids are also put in this situation. So you have 2 sides to you, the tabiyah, the fitra. And the way it works, and I'll get back to the story, is imagine an obese person, 500 pounds. Okay? And he opens up the fridge. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. His animalistic side, this is the side, if you read Surah Yasin, This is the side that when you have bad habits that turn into obsessions, that you have shackles. And if you tell them or if you don't tell them, it makes no difference. They're in prison now. It's when you form this bad habit. So he opens up the fridge. He sees cupcakes. Cupcakes. Your tabia, your animalistic side, that side that gets angry, the side that hits sometimes, it doesn't know anything about compassion or regret. Asking your animalistic side, your subconscious, about the future or about consciousness or morals is like asking your ear what color this wall is. It has no idea, nor does it care. All it cares about is the ego and fulfilling it. So opens up the fridge, cupcake. But then his fitra whispers, cupcake? You just ate 42 cupcakes 3 hours ago. You're 400 pounds. And that's Allah's witnesses that come, that keeps reminding him. But as soon as he listens one time and he puts the cupcake back, it happened to me. I was living a life. I decided to go in Hajj Hassanan's lecture 13 years ago. I put the cupcake back. We formed a friendship, and now we have schools and camps all around the country by one action. It was all Allah. But I decided to go towards that. It already existed in my mind. I just had to give it my attention. There's other people here that things exist that you need to give it attention. Even if you're 80, 90 years old, I've seen it happen. Don't limit yourself. The Prophet would never tell you to. So he puts the cupcake back. What happens to him? He loses weight. He gets married. He has a job. He now creates. How? He's taking his free will back. He's able to think greater than he feels. Why'd you do that? I felt like it. Well, that's a feeling. That's the language of the body. That means your body was doing it. That means you weren't conscious. Why is dhikr so important? It makes you conscious. Most of us here are not conscious. We've never been trained. When you pray, you're praying, Bismillah. Wonder what we're eating tomorrow. Your mind, Imam Khomeini talks about it. It's like a butterfly. And if you don't learn how to be present in the moment, you can't worship Allah. Even between eye blinks, the prophets and imams were present. But then we think, okay, if we cry for Imam Hussein, then we'll be forgiven. True. But remember, Imam Hussein doesn't need your pity at all. His 2 rakat prayer had more joy and happiness and wholeness than all the joy you're going to have all year. He doesn't need your pity. But he needs you to become like him. Be present. That's what meditation is. That's what dhikr is. So that's what happened. So we're put in these moments. So this brother Muhammad, guy tells him, steal credit cards. He said, no. He says, you're going to be a loser your whole life. 20 years go by. He now owns a business. He owns a car. He sells cars. A person comes to him, lives in $1 million house, great family. Comes to him, says, wow, I haven't seen you in 20 years. How you been? He says, I'm all right. He says, you want to buy a car? No, I can't afford a car. Can I get a few $100? Well, why? My family, this, electricity. No problem. He gave him a few $100. He left. He's now 40 years old. If you're 40 years old and you were born in this country and you're asking for a few $100, that means you made a lot of mistakes. Hell, the truest form of hell, is when you die, you create your hell. Hell is something that you create. And what is hell? Hell exists right now. Hell is when you, a serpent, because you were double-tongued, you backstab, and you're like a serpent creature where you should have been amongst the prophet angels. Hell, the truest form, is knowing you should have been that. Hell of a 40-year-old is when your kid comes to you and says, Dad, can you buy me a car? Can you take me to school? And you tell your kid no. Why? Because a lot of bad decisions that I make. That's hell. So the brother started crying. He said, if I would have been, that would have been me at 18 and I would have listened to him, that would have been me. He said, but I decided to think greater than the way I felt and I took my free will back. We have the Prophet, the Ahl Bayt to teach us that. But unfortunately, we don't use them for that. We use them thinking that this is our ticket to paradise. Where the prophets and imams say, you're going to be shocked who's in paradise. It could be a Christian, a Jew, a Hindu. You have no idea. That's why Islam is a personal relationship between you and your Lord. You have no idea who's going through heaven or hell. And the Prophet sometimes would get close to being angry if you ever even mention who's going to heaven or hell. You don't know unless Allah tells you. That's His jurisdiction. Instead of worrying about who's going to heaven or hell, what's the heaven and hell that you're creating for yourself today? How did you wake up today? Did you wake up angry? Did you wake up with a grudge? How many people, I bet you 40% of people have something that if I give them a picture right now, if I give them a face and I say, can you forgive this person? You say, never. He backstabbed me. Or you ask them, do you forgive this person? Yeah, I forgive him. But then the person comes, anger. What is forgiveness? Is when you look at a person, you don't tie an emotion to them. You're no longer angry. That's forgiveness. But if you're still having the same experience and you truly haven't forgiven, if your ex-wife comes and you truly haven't forgiven, if you're still getting angry. The Islamic principle is if somebody steals $20 from you, do you suffer? It depends. If you really thought that $20 was yours in the beginning with. Everything is Allah. And if when somebody steals $20 from you, if you saw what happens to their soul, do you know what you would do for them? You'd go pray for them. We have so many companions of the Prophet, governors, that would pray for people who would try to belittle them. Fatima Zahra Islam would take care of the Prophet. People would throw garbage, she would come protect them. And the Prophet would be so sad at them. We know the stories. You've already heard them 50 times. But now, somebody steals $20, do you suffer? It depends. The $20 wasn't yours. Now somebody steals $20, you pray for them. Because that $20, Allah will give you a lot more. Because every setback is a setup for something bigger. But as soon as some type of adversity happens, we get discouraged. Let's say the brother wakes up at 5 in the morning, late to work, gets to work, loses his job, starts his car didn't start, and is complaining to Allah, Allah, why'd you do this to me? Then he dies. Then the angel said, you remember that day? He says, yeah, why'd that happen? He says, you know, if we would have started your car, you would have went through a red light, we saved you. And you know why we made you late to work? Because if you didn't get fired, you wouldn't have gotten to become a CEO. Oh. But yet we complain. We think we're lack. We think Allah's lack. Allah says, no, just wait. But wake up today excited. What are the thoughts that you had today? What are the people that you need to forgive? Who are the people that you need to go and send prayers to? Change your personality. Stop waiting for your kids to change or your wife to change or the masjid to change. No, you first become that change. And watch the interesting things that happen. Brothers and sisters, I've told kids. I've told a 19-year-old boy. He came to my office with his father. Usually my counseling sessions last an hour. This lasted 10 minutes. What happened? Father came in, his son, he quit his job, he ran away from home. I was giving him $1,000 a week. I look at him, I told him why he probably ran away from home, which was correct. Then his phone kept ringing. I said, answer your phone. He answered it. It's his friend. He hangs up. Because while he's talking to his friend, he says, I'll call you right back. His friend is yelling, where are you? What are you doing? Hangs up. I said, wow, to your father, you run away. To your friend, you're so nice. You know, anybody here, tell your kids, if they treat their friends or their friends treat them better than their parents, run away from them. It's like we teach the sisters. If that brother's texting you behind your parents' back, or you're texting somebody behind their parents' back, or they're texting you behind their parents' back, and then you get married to that person. If he's willing to text and do something behind his mother's back, who woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning every day and fed him, what do you think he'll do to you? Oh, he'll go behind my back. We forget about that because our feelings get in the way. So the brother, the same thing. So I said, be careful, that friend will kill you. They leave. We end the meeting. I get a nightmare that night. Remember, dreams are a manifestation of your day. Do wudu before you go to sleep and tell Allah, show me. Dreams are all about you. There's 3 types of dreams. One of them is a manifestation of your day. So if you see snakes in your dream or you sin a lot in your dream, it's about you. It's all about you. And remember, When you die, let's say if you're in the womb of your mother, and you look at your hands, your feet, you say, I don't need these things. What do I need them for? And then you come out of the womb, and you see your mom and your dad, strange creatures. Oh, thank God I still have my hands and my legs. In the same token, when you leave this world, we're pregnant in this world, and we get taken out to the next world. Oh, that's why I should have prayed on time. Oh, that's why I should have, because now I have the hands of compassion. I have the feet of forgiveness. Oh, that's why I was told in the masjid 50 times do this. Because the hereafter is now, it's present, you're creating it. That's why Imam Ali alayhi wasallam says, when I die, there's no surprise. The veil is already removed. It's already removed. So why are we going to be surprised? So why not create it and say, what is the way I could get closest to Allah? What are things about my personality? Do I get angry quickly? Do I yell? Do I wake up just feeling lazy? And do I always come up with excuses? Do I have limiting beliefs? Do I think I'm too old now? Be careful of those thoughts. That's satanic. That's the tabiyah controlling this. Take your free will back. So this brother, I told him, your friends are going to kill you. I had a nightmare that night. Woke up, texted the father. I said, don't take your eyes off of your son. Full-time job, texted back. 2 weeks go by. Father had to go to Lebanon. Tells his son, says, just be careful. He says, okay. The same friend convinced him to buy a motorcycle. His father was in Lebanon. Takes the motorcycle at midnight, going too fast, passes away. Same friend that told him was going to kill him. The father called me the first person. He says, what, your dream came true. Because I woke up to a phone call. Right before the phone call, I saw my son coming to me. I said, why does it have to take that for the community to get a wake-up call? Why do we wait for bad things to happen for us to change? Because we know thoughts that are negative could deregulate genes that cause cancer and disease. 95 to 99% of cancer and disease is through thought, through the environment. It's not you were born with. So if our thoughts can make us sick, can our thoughts make us joyful? Absolutely. But why are we waiting for an adversity to hit to change? In our community, it happens all the time. There was a brother, same. His mom said, moved him from one school, moved him the other side of the city to another. I got close to him. This is when the Detroit Pistons were really good. And she goes, I don't want you by these friends. Detroit Pistons won the championship. He went back to the same environment when the Pistons were celebrating, when Dearborn was celebrating. Who did he see? His old friends. Hey, guess what? We go to this teen club. You know, in the older cultural generations, when I come to the masjid, I ask them, do you think you have a problem with dating or marijuana or vaping? They'll just say, no, there's no problem here. Then you go talk to the youth. Say, yeah, we just make sure they don't know about it. And then when the death starts happening, that's when we get a wake-up call. Don't wait for that, brothers. Don't. So this brother saw his old friends. Yeah, I'll go. Pick me up. Next week goes, they pick him up. Phone call. Midnight. Can you come and identify your son? No, my son is upstairs. Can you imagine now? She goes upstairs, she opens up the door, and she doesn't see her son in the bed. That feeling, that emotion. You guys think it can't happen to you. You have no idea. You don't know. Don't live in this utopian world. It's not. That's the next world. She goes to the scene of the accident. Who does she see? The same friend. She told him to get away. She sees her son in an accident, got ejected from the car, died on impact. She looked at him. I told you stay away from my son. You didn't listen. Same with our kids. We don't realize you make a bad decision, you don't listen. The grief. That happened back in 2006, 2005. If I go back now by the house, the mother barely leaves the house. For what? Just to get a quick fix on a desire that you're going to forget? Some of us, we play video games so much. We're addicted. Instant gratification. You check this 200 times a day, 50% of it for nothing. You just check because it's a habit. And it's an instant gratification. You get a dopamine drop. But now, when other things don't get instant, you get annoyed because you're so used to this. If your wife doesn't give you your food instantly, annoyed. If your kids don't, annoyed. When you don't even realize why you become like this, because of this. You don't know how to put it down. That's why the best thing is don't wake up to this. Don't wake up to creating your day. Just watch what happens. Put your attention towards something that you want, towards talking to your kids, towards a job, towards a new career, whatever you want. And then tell your body to wait. And then last hour of your day, put this down. Don't touch it. Watch. It changes your brain. Last hour, just reflect on your day. What was good? What were the limiting thoughts that I have? What are the things that I want to change about myself? And if you don't do that, then your subconscious is going to take over. Then you've lost your free will. And many of us don't wake up that way. And then when somebody challenges, a week ago, sister says, can you meet this brother I was thinking about being married to? So that means she's probably been a boyfriend with him for a while. She wants to just introduce to the parents. So I said, no problem. Meet this boy. He's lost. You could tell he's on drugs. So they came separate. She left. So what do you think? So yeah, he's lost. Does he abuse you? Yeah. Do you run to him, drop everything for him? Yes. How do you know you have an addiction? Is if you're willing to do it even if it hurts people. So if you have an addiction with your tongue where you're always slighting people, making people feel bad, that means it's an addiction that you have to overcome because you don't care what the other person feels like. And then 2 days later, you're going and buying flowers, making up. No. Take back your free will. You know it's impossible to be angry for more than 2 minutes? After that, you're faking it. After that, it's your ego and arrogance. See, and if you're in a mood, what's wrong? I'm in a mood. Somebody did something. That's a week. But if it lasts 6 months, what's wrong? Or this person. That becomes your temperament. If it lasts longer than that, that becomes your personality. And now you know. Does everybody here have that angry cousin? That person that complains all the time. If it's sunny, why is it too sunny? If it's raining, why is it raining? Always complaining about something. Because if he doesn't complain, say stop complaining. No, but it feels right. How am I going to become better? Say no, it feels familiar. You're confusing the two. It just feels familiar. Habits feel familiar. Now you have to become unfamiliar, and that's not comfortable. Now you got to change. I've had a 70-year-old man say, I haven't read a book since your class in the last 50 years. He has new life. But it was uncomfortable. Try to change the way you sleep. It's uncomfortable. You've been doing the same habit for 20 years, and now somebody comes and challenges you to change your personality so your kids could be better off, so you could be better off. Why not live that way? Do you know where the most buried treasure are in the world? It's not in the oil mines in Africa. It's not in Saudi-occupied Arabia, in the diamond mines, in the oil mines there. It's not in Africa in the diamond mines. It's in the cemeteries. For when you're risen, the angels will say, you could have read this book. You could have wrote this book. You could have been an author. You could have done an orphanage. You could have done this. Why didn't you? Oh, this person betrayed me. This person did this. My kids, my job I lost. So, why did you not give your future? Stop using your brain as a record of the past. And start using it as a roadmap of the future and create. Isn't that what the Prophet ﷺ did? When he overtook Mecca, do you think he was surprised? He wasn't surprised. He already created it. And here, what do you think he was doing half the night? He was doing dhikr. It was already existed. It was already promised to him. What are the thoughts that you have that you're firing away? What are the things that you want to create? You know, they asked Michael Jordan when you hit that game-winning shot, how did it feel? Felt nothing. Already hit it 1,000 times. And here, what are you doing every day? Most of you don't think about. If I ask most of you, and I'm sorry to talk this way, when is the last time you did something for the first time? If you can't even remember, there's a problem. That means the brain hasn't been triggered in a while. It's called a slow death. When is the last time you did something for the first time? I don't care if you're 100 years old. They took brain scans of nuns that are 80 years old. They had the brain of a 40-year-old. What are two things that they do? They're lifelong learners, and they do the roseberry, the tasbih. The Prophet said, gain knowledge from the cradle till 30, 40, the grave. 50% of people don't ever finish a book after high school. If you don't read or you can't read, you're the same. We want this community to change. Oh, it's the younger generation. It's this. No, it's you. It's you. You become that change. It's hard to argue with me. Me and Hajj Hassanin are two people. We've started millions of dollars of project. We've never done a fundraiser. How? We wake up excited to a vision that's greater than ourselves. That's it. It's that simple. No matter what burden comes, we have Allah. Allah says, when you're with me, who's going to destroy you? And do you know Allah doesn't deny any of your prayers? Doesn't He say that in the Quran? I can show you about 20 verses. Allah doesn't deny one of your prayers. But not the prayer of the ego. Not the prayer, oh, inshallah, give me a new house or make my kids get rid of this disease. No, not that prayer. The prayer of the soul. You got to learn how to pray from that angle. See, my life changed 5 years ago, and all my counseling changed because of this one event. A brother came to me. Says, I was going to die. I had meningitis. I had 2 weeks to live. I said, what happened? Says, I prayed to Fatima Zahra special dua, and I prayed to Abu Fadl Abbas. Said, I want to see my kids grow. Something happened. Angels came. Something happened in the body. Cured. SubhanAllah. Made me curious. The doctors quoted him for 2 weeks. He kept pointing at him. You don't know my Lord. You don't know my Lord. You don't understand. Here's the interesting thing. If a Jew prays, if a Hindu prays, if a Christian prays, they get cured too. It's called spontaneous remission. But what do they have? And this is what I studied because I became very curious. All of them shared 3 components. They submitted, surrendered, and believed greater than anything else in their current environment. And they had no doubt. That's why Imam Hussein alayhi salam would come to somebody, give him dua mashlul. The person had 0 doubt in the Imam. That's why the dua worked. We ask ourselves, why does this dua not work? I would keep reciting it for 4. You have doubt. You're skeptic. You're not changing your personality. The brother was saying, we don't put prayer in points here. So when prayer starts? When it ends. When you pray and you're present, you'll be more patient. At mosques I go and there's a traffic jam, you see people beeping, cutting each other off. That means their prayer had 0 value. The Prophet ﷺ said 70 years of that prayer equals maybe half hour of this talk that we're having. Half hour of meditation. Where somebody gives you new information, you say, that could equal 70 years. But are we willing to change? No, I'm comfortable. Said you're familiar, you need to change this. But also come back and haunt you. There's a person in New York, Jorge Munoz. He fed poor people. There's a bus driver making $300 a week. No money. 1-bedroom apartment. He fed poor people. He felt good. His friends are like, what are you doing? We all have the naysayers. Anybody here who's calling somebody, they're complaining about their day every day, remove them from your life, please. It's destroying your brain. It causes Alzheimer's, cortisol levels shoot up, strokes shoot up. You cannot have a naysayer person. It's very bad for your brain. Be careful. And you, even if you don't complain, but you're around people that complain, it's just as bad, just like secondhand smoke. Be very careful. Anybody has a naysayer that's always the sky is falling, run away. It destroys your future. So Jorge Munoz's friends came and said, what are you doing? He says, you guys drink alcohol and gamble with your money. I don't tell you what to do. Leave me alone. They left him alone. I made a prayer one time. I said, Allah, remove all my friends that remove me away from you. All my friends were gone. Became very lonely, depressed. Sometimes you have to go through depression. It's okay. As long as it doesn't go to despair. Even the great ulama, some of them, the mystics, went through deep depression. It's okay. Allah, bring me new friends that bring me closer to you. SubhanAllah. The first friend he brought me was Hajj Hassanan. And then I got all of his friends. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. That was pretty quick. So Jorge goes, starts feeding, felt good. Says, God, help me. I want to feed more people. Church group found out, says, we'll sponsor you 1,000 people. Started feeding like 10,000 people a month. CNN recognized them, became Hero of the Year. The next year, Barack Obama gave him a Medal of Honor. The following year, he goes back to Colombia, becomes congressman. Bus driver, congressman. How? He gave attention something greater than yourself. And he was able to achieve it with God's help. What is it that you wake up to every day that's greater than you? If every day you wake up checking your phone, checking your kids, going to work, coming home, then you could just take that for the rest of your life. That's the legacy you want to leave behind? Why don't you take a chance? They've asked 80-year-old men, what do you regret? I regret worrying about things that I had zero control over. And I regret not taking risks. Imam Ali says, take risks. Trust in Allah. Build that orphanage. Go after it. But you know, if you don't love yourself, you'll never find love. If you don't feel abundant, you'll never find abundance. If you don't feel all within, you'll never find the state of all. I don't care how many prayers you do. When do you do that? Best time is in the morning. When nothing is bothering you. You just close your eyes and say, Allah, let's go. Where am I going today? And be excited about it. And watch the weird synchronicities that happen in life. So many of us are so used to the other way, we just cannot put the cupcake back. We cannot take our free will back. There was a brother who left his job in New York City. Brother, you triggered me because of New York. So I'm giving you the New York stories. And he says, I want to take a 2-month. I'm not happy. A lot of us go to work and we're not happy. And we think a limited belief we're stuck. You put a limitation to Allah. That's not Allah. The Prophet ﷺ never thought that way. He never felt stuck. He kept pushing the agenda until his last breath. Kept creating for the people. Don't. If you're not excited about your job, create a new one. In here first. Watch. I don't care how old you are. Do it. Watch what the weird opportunities you get in life. I could give you 100 stories of the Prophet. How he would teach people how to do this. The brother says, I'm taking. He goes on a cruise. It gets hit by a 30-foot wave. Everybody thought they were going to die. He said, God, I'm here for a reason. Allow me to live. I'll do your work. It's a wake-up call. They get taken on a third-world country. He's got money. He sees a little boy. He says, I'll give you anything you want. The boy says, I just want a pencil. Teach me how to write so I could get out of here. Another family, teach me words. He says, everybody's lacking education. I'm going to build schools. So he would go back. What do you do? I'm a marketer, but I want to build schools. What are you going to call it? Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to call it Pencils for Promises. He builds one school every 90 hours. SubhanAllah. He gave attention. In the quantum world, there's an infinite amount of possibilities. But when you wake up to stress every day, you're going to go to the worst case. And we're different. Why are we different than any other species? Is if the lion is chasing the rabbit and the rabbit gets away, what happens to the heart rate of the rabbit? It goes down. But unfortunately, we create that lion in our mind. And every day we wake up to that lion. My wife, my debt, my credit card, my kids. And now we're running away from it. Eventually the body does what? It shuts down. You find out somebody gets a heart attack, cancer, disease. What I do is I get people to think greater than that. And then it's weird what happens to their cancer and disease. It goes away right away. Every time I meet a parent because look, I've heard 2 types of cries. I've buried kids. I've heard that cry of the parent. There's nothing that compares to a parent who lost their son to sin, and you hear that cry. That's the worst cry imaginable. The parent would give her own life for that son to stop. But Allah says it's their free will. So then the parent, you'd ask them, what's wrong? Then you ask the parent question, you're sick, aren't you? Diabetes. How'd you know? Brothers and sisters, I've been doing this since 2006. Every time I say, are you sick? And they really don't think the two are connected. And as soon as the kid gets better, the mother gets better. Your thoughts have something to do with your future and your health. If you can't think greater than you feel, and now you form an addiction that causes stress. So now if you know that's going to hurt you, aren't you going to be careful of the habits that you start so you don't cause this stress? So if anybody here has a bad habit, the way they talk back to their wives, the way they just allow their wives to do everything, or there's somebody in their life that has a bad habit, talk to them this way. And watch. The Prophet of God says, Wallahi, that bad habit, not in 40 days, in a few moments, will change. Just by being present. I've gotten probably 20 people to stop biting their nails. How? Just being present. Every time you bite your nail, you write it down and tie in a feeling and motion to it. First day, 60 times. Second day, 50 times. Seventh day, 0. Because they became present. There was another sister who, wanted to fly planes. She was a senior in our school. I said, give it attention, have you? She gave me a lot of limiting beliefs. My mom won't let me. I wear full hijab. I wear abaya. I said, why don't you email an instructor? I said, okay. She emailed the instructor at the aviation school. Said, this is her interest. She wants to become a pilot. She goes, guess what? I'm flying next week. Why don't you bring your mom? That way we could loosen her up a little bit. Okay. Takes her mom. She's flying the plane with the pilot. And in the back is her mom reciting dua. And we have this on video. Wherever your attention goes, energy flows. If you go up to my office, I have 12 iPhones. But I've never taken an iPhone from a kid. The parents come to me, how'd you get the iPhone? Simple. Kid, how's your grades? C's and D's. What's the vision of future? It's funny. I'm friends with some NBA players. I say, you want to make the NBA? The kid says, yeah. So he woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. Excited. That's how you have to wake up for Fajr. Because if you believe Fajr has something to do with your future, you're not going to be able to wait to go into that prayer mat. You're going to go up with excitement. But if there's nothing new, what are you going to be excited for? So he says, NBA. So okay, 5 o'clock in the morning. Alarm comes on. By the way, the snooze button on the alarm, never hit it. Because that makes you delay. It's very bad to hit the snooze button. It's a new study that's been out. Don't keep hitting the snooze because then it delays your day. It's very bad. So anyways, the alarm, just get up. The alarm says 5 o'clock in the morning. Mine says NBA. What does the body say? Go back to sleep. You're never going to make it. Tomorrow, start the diet tomorrow. No, now. The Prophet says right now. When you make an intention, you make a nidr to Allah. I teach people how to do nidrs. That if they stop it, they have to pay money. Eventually, they become that personality. So then I tell the brother, okay, what do you want to do? He says, I want to become a doctor, a lawyer. By the way, this notion that within the communities that you can either be a doctor, lawyer, or failure needs to stop. 60% of doctors are depressed. 50% of lawyers are depressed. Don't force your kids to do anything. Figure out what their passions are. The Prophet ﷺ would go to people and say, oh, you're a painter. You're a writer. Go after that. Not your vision, their vision. And never compare your kids to anybody except their future selves. Not their friends, not their brothers. The worst thing you could do. I'm going to be doing a parent workshop tomorrow on how to do this. See, our school is different. Schools teach you what to learn. We teach you how to learn. There's no classes on paying attention. We teach people how to pay attention, how to be present. Right now, you know how many times your mind has wandered? Every 8 seconds now, your mind keeps wandering. You got to keep bringing it back. It becomes tiring. Then you just let it go, and you become drowsy. Happens to all of us. It's a habit. So then the kid comes. I said, you're getting D's and C's. What do you want to be? Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be this. I said, with C's and D's, do you think you're going to get that future self? No. Do you think by going home and playing video games right away and playing Fortnite, it's going to take you there? No. The irony about video games, if I asked you 2 weeks ago who won or lost, I don't remember. You're willing to give up your future for forgotten memories? What are the silly things that we do every day that we forget instead of investing? Do one small tadabbur of Quran. Something that improve your personality, your character. Get rid of the same routine, or else you're going to die that way. And you'll be questioned. You'll still go to heaven. But you'll still be questioned, like, why didn't you do more with your existence? Who limited you? If you could be in the gutter of New York and be congressman, and you don't have it as bad as that, what's your excuse? So you tell the kid, this is your personality. Change your personality, you get this reality. Give me your phone for 2 weeks. Let's go on a ride with me. Let's cross that river. What do you think? I'm trying. He gives me the phone. I send them mood tests they have to take when they come to school. First day, oh my God, it's like I lost my hand. If I tell some of you, give me your phone, no, I'd rather die. Lose my second day, I was still hard. Third day, I actually did my homework. I wasn't distracted. Fourth day, I talked to my parents at dinner. If any of your parents are on the phone at dinner, don't do that. It's one of the worst things. Don't you know when somebody's present with you? If you're always on this, you can never be present with Allah. It's impossible. You know when somebody's present with you. In this audience, when I do a quick veer, I already know whose minds are out of the room, whose minds are present. I already know who's had a long day, who has it. We interviewed this kid, me and Haj Hassanin. And I looked at him, he wants to come because it was an interview process. So I interview all the teachers, all the students. I look at him, so do you have a girlfriend? Yeah. He didn't know who we were. He was excited. So the father was like, well, he's getting rid of her. I said, oh yeah, inshallah. I said, okay, yeah, and we're going to Lebanon, and he'll be away from the summer. So Hajj is talking, and I'm just watching, observing. I'm behavioral science. I'm just always watching people. I'm fascinated by human nature. We're extremely predictable beings. We're weird creatures. The angels look at us and say, man, you guys are strange. You kill each other. It's like a person who comes from Mars, comes to Earth. He takes a suitcase. The angel laughs at him. Why'd you bring dirt, garbage, grass with you on Earth? God said I could bring anything. This is very valuable in Mars. He says, we make roads out of this. We make houses out of this. In the same token, a person leaves here, goes to the next world, and he's taking a suitcase, diamonds, rubies. And the angel looks at him. You strange. Why'd you do that? He says, well, people betray and backstab each other. People lie, steal, and cheat for this stuff. Really? We make houses out of it. You guys are strange. We're very predictable, irrational beings. It's confusing. But Allah created us for that one, to get out of that cocoon to make a butterfly by using the representation of the Prophet of Ahlul Bayt. So the person now is in the office, take their phone. Day 3, day 4, I talked to my parents. Day 5, guess what? I walked around the block. You know, some of you don't allow your kids to be helicopter parents. Helicopter parents are just as bad as not having a parent. Allow your kids to fall. Some of us wake up, we do everything for our kids. If you're reminding your kids every day to do something, their homework, you failed as a parent. It's not your kid's fault, it's you. It's like you going to the gym, your son's going to the gym and say, go work out. The weight is there, 20 pounds, dumbbells. You tell your son, no, get out of the way, I'll do it for you. And we're expecting our kids to grow. That's the majority of how parents parent. I can prove it to you. Inshallah, if you come to the workshops, I'll show you the evidence. I'll show you what to do to change that. Here's the interesting thing. 2 weeks go by, grades go up to A's and B's. Do you want your phone back? No. Wait till the end of the year. The parents are shocked. Why? How did they change? They had a vision of the future that was greater than themselves. But if you don't have a vision that's greater than yourself right now, don't expect your kids to. And expect your kids to be lazy and lethargic. Why? You don't wake up excited. The joy, Imam Ali alayhi salam smiled on the battlefield, brothers and sisters. He was excited. I'm telling you, why don't we wake up excited every day? Because there's nothing new. What am I going to be waking up for? It's the same. I'm saying create, brothers and sisters. And no better time. These du'as, these prayers are for that. I'll end with this. Inshallah, we'll do a Q&A. And after the announcement, who would like to stay? There's so many more stories. I have thousands of stories, hundreds of experiences I'd love to share with you. At the end of the day, I want to leave this community with, when I come back, I heard this started. I heard this overcame. I see there's doctors, there's lawyers. How do we influx this in the community to thrive? Otherwise, the youth will not come here. Do you know why the youth don't come to this community, to the center? Why is it not filled with 17, 18 years old? Why should they? I could tell a kid, don't go out on Friday nights. It's bad for you. It's haram. Then Friday night comes, he says, okay, but I want to do something. You haven't given me anything else to do. Do you know what's the opposite of distraction? When I ask my teachers, what's the opposite of distraction? They say it's focus. So no, it's not. My kids can't focus. They can't focus. I said, if I put them in front of Fortnite, they'll focus for 5 hours. The opposite of distraction is attraction. When you're attracted to something, you go in the quantum world, time no longer becomes relevant. When you love to do something, you can do it for 8 hours. It feels like 2 minutes because we're attracted. Now imagine they have a vision of the future they're so attracted to that they're willing not to get rid of the bad friends, get rid of any girls, any drugs, anything, because they're attracted to something greater than themselves. Those are the environments I try to create as much as I can, where you get them so attracted, nothing. I tell parents, so you bring me your kid, and he gets accepted to a top school, and he goes by and he sees that dorm. If your kid goes to a school, the university, the dorm, 90% of them are party schools, even Ivy League. But what's the key is he sees that party and it's ugly to him because it takes him away from that vision. And there's no greater vision than knowing in that warm embrace of Allah that when you go back, it's just you and him. You're not going to care if your kids are next to you, your mom, your dad, nobody. You're going to be saying, nafsi, me, me, me. But yet right now, we're not changing because of our kids. Allah says, no, you're putting them in the center. And when you worship them, one day you're going to get a call. What do you want? You're bugging me. Why? Because we never changed. And we expected our kids to appreciate us. If I give your son a phone that's for free and one he works hard for, which one would he appreciate? One he works hard for. If we keep giving it for free, he'll throw it, he'll kick it. You've become that free phone. That's not the sunnah. Ahlul Bayt worked. Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein worked hard. But guess what? They fell in love with it and they were excited about it. Let's live that way. In the next bite for tomorrow, I'm going to show you how. Because it's no longer enough to know. You have to know how. And right now we're at the data information where everything's at our fingertips. The hawza could come to you. Anything you want. You have an ailment. Before you even go to the doctor, you know more about the ailment than the doctor does. You've educated yourself. But unfortunately, we've been hypnotized. You know, there's been people that have told you have cancer. They would die, autopsy, no cancer cells. They died through thought alone. And my cause is, and I'll end with this. If I give you a Motrin, you have a headache, it goes away. If I give this brother a placebo, a sugar pill, I tell him it's a Motrin, what happens to his headache? It goes away. The same pharmacy that happened in his nervous system, he created. Imam Ali says the pharmacy is within. The universe is within. So what created it? That pill represented hope. That's how spontaneous remission happens as well. It represents hope. The question is, do we need to be tricked? No, you could become the placebo. But you got to learn how to break the habit of being yourself and become supernatural. There's a person I recommend. His name is Joe Dispenza. He's a scientist who discovered the science of prayer. Why does it work? In terms of tabi'an fitra, Khalil Jafar. Listen to Freeing the Butterfly, End of Negative Suffering. Hajj Hassanen's lecture. Listen, there's urafa out there. Take 20 minutes. I see some of you drive long distance. Take 20 minutes, listen to something, learn something new, and then go home, be excited to share it with your kids. Don't think you're too old. But all I'm going to ask you is tonight, what is that vision of the future that you want to create? And don't allow your familiar past to become your predictable future. What is one thing new that you haven't done that you wanted to do your whole life? What is it? Go to sleep with that thought. And watch what kind of prayer and what kind of dream that you have. Pay attention to your dreams. The greatest inventions have come through dreams. Periodic table came through a dream. Sewing machine came through a dream. So many. The Prophet ﷺ through dreams. Yusuf ﷺ, dreams. But if you don't have a vision of the future, nothing new is going to happen. So I'm asking you, what is it that you want to do? Challenge yourself. But as soon as we leave those doors, Shaitan says, you're too old. Tomorrow. No. This is how I've helped cancer patients. I have testimonials. They're able to overcome themselves. They're not listening to those thoughts anymore. They're above it. So now next time somebody asks you to volunteer, raise your hand. For Imam Ali alayhi salam, anytime the Prophet would ask him, he would raise his hand. He'd be the first to go. Let's become like that. Stop listening to our thoughts that are not all true. Start questioning it and stop thinking limited. The Prophet didn't sacrifice his life and his family for this. Not for us to come and cry for him. He doesn't need our tears. Wallahi, he doesn't need our tears. He just doesn't. It's hard to go to hell, by the way. Our existence is not about going to heaven or hell. It's much greater than that. We'll talk more about it, inshallah. Salawat. Brother Amin, I think we'll do announcements, and then whoever would like to stay for a Q&A, inshallah. Is he? Or you're doing announcements?
Hajj Hussein, my elders, brothers, and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the entire management committee, I want to welcome Hajj Hussein and the entire community. Welcome Hajj Hussein here with us. Inshallah, this is one of the first of a few visits we have planned. This weekend we do have workshops, as you know, tomorrow, and he'll be addressing our madrasa students on Sunday. And we have two workshops tomorrow. 3:30 in the afternoon to about 5:30 is the youth workshop. We did set a minimum age of 10. We want to make sure people are attentive and listening into the program. But we didn't set an upper limit on the age for the youth because we're all youth at heart. There's a lot of information to share, so it is open to anybody who wants to come and learn. The evening workshop will begin after the youth workshop. We will break for Salatul Maghrib and we have dinner. Again, everyone's invited to attend. And then at 7 o'clock, we have the parenting workshop. While the parenting workshop is going on, the youth will have a game event. We'll have the tables and video games and things that are up in that room available for the youth. So again, this is tomorrow. Again, please make plans to attend. A lot of information, as you can see, that it's hard to cover in this short time tonight. As well as Hajj Hussein mentioned, after this program is over this evening, we'll have a Q&A here in the men's hall. Anybody who wishes to stay is welcome. We'll have maybe a few questions addressed. I'm sure many came up during the session tonight. Just a few more announcements before we break for continue on with Qasida. We have sent out the annual summary letters for 2019. This covers all the donations and contributions that you made. They did go out by email. I did get a few folks contact us saying the emails were not received. So again, the original issue with the donation system with email was it was going through your spam folder. So please check there. If you don't have it, do not worry. Just give us a call. Either myself, Brother Arif, Brother Anosh, or Brother Ali. We have printouts and we can get them to you if you don't get the email. And then some of you obviously we didn't have your email, so if you didn't receive it, our forgiveness again we'll have the printouts for you as you requested. With that as well, our annual memberships are now due. It is again no change in the amount. It's the $350. It is due now. So please submit that to any member of the management committee, or the easiest way to do it is just go online on the payment portal and submit it through there. Trying to think what else we have to go. So yes, so we have a couple other programs that will be coming up. We'll be making announcements. I think we did talk about the events for tomorrow. Just one other thing that's coming up in a few weeks. We're a little bit behind on the accounting this year, getting the report back from our accounting firm. We have the annual general meeting will likely occur sometime in early to mid-March. As soon as we get the report back from the accounting firm, we'll send out the normal 2-week notice for the annual general meeting. This year we do have elections for both the trustees and the MC. So that notice will be going out again as soon as we get confirmation of the annual report being complete. And with that, again, from all of us, on behalf of the entire management committee, we wish each of you and your respected families Kushali Mubarak on this auspicious occasion. Assalamu alaikum.
أفضل السلام محمد وآل محمد ہے یہی سب سے بڑا تیرا قصیدہ زہرا ہے یہی سب سے بڑا تیرا قصیدہ زہرا ہے یہی سب سے بڑا تیرا قصیدہ زہرا باپ کہتا ہے تجھے ابیہا زہرا باپ کہتا ہے تمہیں ابیہا زہرا تیرے بچوں کی فرشتوں نے غلامی کی ہے تیرے بچوں کی فرشتوں نے غلامی کی ہے تیرے سسرال میں اترا ہے ستارہ زہرا تیرے سسرال میں اترا ہے ستارہ زہرا صلوات اللہ محمد تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ سب کے تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ سب چل کے تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ محسن علی ہے فاطمہ محسن علی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ ماشاءاللہ تو بڑی فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ اختیار ان کے باوجود
پیارے ان کے باوجود چکی پیستی ہے فاطمہ چکی پیستی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے ماں تو بڑی سخی فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ مصطفیٰ کو مانگنا پڑا مصطفیٰ کو مانگنا پڑا تب کہیں ملی ہے فاطمہ تب کہیں ملی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے ماشاءاللہ ہاں تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ آئے ہیں حسین ظہور آئے ہیں حسن ظہور عصر پڑھ رہی ہے فاطمہ عصر پڑھ رہی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ جائے گا جائے گا جنا میرے سے شیر جائے گا جنا میں کیسے شیر جائے گا جنا در پہ ہی کھڑی ہے فاطمہ در پہ ہی کھڑی ہے فاطمہ حشر میں حسین والوں کو حشر میں حسین چن رہی ہے فاطمہ خود ہی چن رہی ہے فاطمہ خود ہی چن رہی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی لا الہ جھومنے لگا لا الہ جھومنے لگا سجدہ کر رہی ہے فاطمہ سجدہ کر رہی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ ذکر مرتضیٰ پہ خوشی ہے کون ذکر مرتضیٰ پہ خوشی ہے کون سب کو دیکھتی ہے فاطمہ سب کو دیکھتی ہے فاطمہ وقت کے امام کے لیے وقت کے امام کے لیے آگ پر چلی ہے فاطمہ چلی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی فاطمہ تو بڑی فاطمہ نادا راگ میں خدیجہ کہتی تھی راگ میں خدیجہ کہتی تھی
رب کی لاڈلی ہے فاطمہ رب کی لاڈلی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ ہے فاطمہ میرے تیرے مرتضی کے ساتھ میرے تیرے مرتضی کے ساتھ عرش پر پلی ہے فاطمہ جائے گا جنوں میں کیسے جائے گا جنوں میں کیسے در پہ ہی کھڑی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ تو بڑی سخی ہے فاطمہ محسن علی ہے فاطمہ محسن علی ہے فاطمہ یا رسول اللہ یا Surah Al-Fatiha, Nare Salawat, Allahumma salli ala. I think there's a brother who's going to recite after me. Please welcome him with a loud Salawat ala Muhammad wa alayhi Muhammad.
رسالت کی آرام میں جاں فاطمہ ہے رسالت کی آرام میں جاں فاطمہ ہے امامت کی روح روا فاطمہ ہے امامت کی روح روا فاطمہ ہے قدم جس کے فرش زمین کی ہو زینت قدم جس کے فرش زمین کی ہو زینت طہارت کا وہ ماں فاطمہ ہے طہارت کا وہ ماں فاطمہ ہے اگرچہ وہ مختار جنت ہے لیکن اگرچہ وہ مختار جنت ہے لیکن وہ گھر خود ہے جنت جہاں فاطمہ ہے وہ گھر خود ہے جنت جہاں فاطمہ ہے رگوں میں ہے اسلام کی خون کا رگوں میں ہے اسلام کی خون کا علی جسم ہے اور جاں فاطمہ ہے علی جسم ہے اور جاں فاطمہ ہے ملی روٹیاں تو ملک نے صدا دی ملی روٹیاں تو ملک نے صدا دی فرشتوں کی روزی رسا فاطمہ ہے فرشتوں کی روزی رسا فاطمہ ہے یا علی شیر خدا نفس خدا عین خدا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا نفس خدا عین خدا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا دیکھ کر تجھ کو ہوا عظمت خالق کا یقین جس نے چھوڑا ہے تجھے اس کا ٹھکانہ ہی نہیں جھکتی رہتی ہے تیرے در پر فرشتوں کی جبیں تیری مرہون کرم ابھی ہے کعبے کی زمین تیرے مولد پہ جو ہو جائے وہی ہے سجدہ تیرے مولد پہ جو ہو جائے وہی ہے سجدہ تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا نفس خدا عین خدا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا زینت دوش پیمبر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں گھر خدا کا ہے تیرا گھر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں رب نصیری کا سمجھ کر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں عقل حیران ہے آخر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں چھو نہیں سکتی تیری غرض میری فکر رسا چھو نہیں سکتی تیری غرض میری فکر رسا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا نفس خدا عین خدا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا مرحبا آگ کو گلزار بنانے والے تور پر ایک جھلک اپنی دکھانے والے کشتی نوح کو طوفان سے بچانے والے انگلیوں پر در خیبر کو اٹھانے والے اب خدا تجھ کو کہوں یا میں کہوں دست خدا اب خدا تجھ کو کہوں یا میں کہوں دست خدا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا نفس خدا عین خدا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا کہتے تھے احمد مختار خدا ہی جانے شب معراج کے اسرار خدا ہی جانے وہ لبو لہجہ گفتار خدا ہی جانے عظمت حیدر کرار خدا ہی جانے صرف آواز ہی آتی رہی پردہ نہ اٹھا صرف آواز ہی آتی رہی پردہ نہ اٹھا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا نفس خدا عین خدا تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا
دشت بنا جو بیمار ہو جلد پائے شفا الہی برائے امام زمان ہمیں ہر سے دے تو قیامت کو معشور رہو با علی اٹھے قبر سے کہتے ہم یا علی ہے پانچ ونو مل چہادتن أحمد وعلي زهرا وحسن شبیر سلے تا امام زمان شبیر سلے تا امام زمان ہر ایک پہ سدا صلوات پڑھو صلوات صلوات کے اس پہ نثار گوہر جو نبی ہے بلند در صفات ہوئے صلوات صلوات و سلام یا امام زمان فرماؤ ظہور یا امام زمان صلوات اللہم صلی السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ السلام علیکم نبی اللہ السلام علیکم حبیب اللہ السلام علیکم امیر المؤمنین علی ابن ابی طالب السلام علیکم یا فاطمة الزہرا سیدۃ نساء العالمین السلام علیکم حسن المجتبی السلام علیکم ابا عبداللہ والارواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني جميعا سلام الله ابدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين خصوصا سيدي مولاي أبو الفضل العباس وأختك زينب وأم كلثوم وبنتك سكينة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك تسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين عليه السلام علي بن الحسين زين العابدين ومحمد بن علي الباقر وجعفر بن محمد الصادق وموسى بن جعفر الكاظم وعلي بن موسى الرضا ومحمد بن علي التقي الجواد وعلي بن محمد الهادي النقي والحسن بن علي العسكري السلام عليك يا حجة الله يا ابن الحسن يا صاحب العصر والزمان سيدي الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك والأنصارك والمستشهدين بين يديك السلام عليك أهل بيت النبوة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته